So another topic I wanted to talk to you about is feeling tired all the time and feeling getting headaches, just feeling like you're worn out when you have OCD. And the reason why it's happening. The reason why it's happening is because your brain is working double time. So your brain has to process your regular life and all the things that are happening in it. On top of it, it has to process OCD thoughts, and OCD thoughts oftentimes feel more severe, well, most of the time, they feel more severe than the problems that you are actually facing in regular life. So because the brain has double the capacity over time, it gets depleted basically. Because if you're stressing it out for a day or two, it's one thing, right? But if it's a continuous thing and the brain's not prepared to deal with it, it becomes very difficult to maintain that level of energy. So what you can do to fix it? Well, first of all, you need to start working on your recovery. So any thought that follows your theme needs to immediately be put in an OCD category and dismissed as much as possible. So say, for example, you have thoughts that are related to harm OCD. So what you want to say to yourself, yes, I'm having these thoughts. Yes, they feel very real. Yes, they're scaring me. Nope, not paying attention to them anymore. I've had enough of that. I'm moving on with my life now, and I'm going to disregard them no matter how scary they feel, no matter how much anxiety they give me. I'm not going to buy into that anxiety anymore. Because there's two things here. There's the anxiety coming to you, that's one thing, and you multiplying that anxiety. So say, as an example, right, saying, uh, well, what if something happened? And you get that thought and that jolt of anxiety, and then you're like, oh my God, what if it did happen? Right? You see how by that response, you're multiplying the anxiety, right? So saying, okay, I'm getting the thought, but I'm refusing to pay attention to it, right? So that will calm down your mind. On the other side of this, in terms of your regular life, you want to make sure you are giving yourself enough time to rest. And you have to be very careful how you're doing that, because if you're isolating yourself in a room where you have the opportunity to think, this can become very negative, because then you have the opportunity to have more time for rumination, for checking, for looking things up online or whatever, right? So um, you want to be busy, but you don't want to be overly busy, overly stressed in your regular life, because your mind is already trying to recover from OCD. So recovering from OCD on one side and then doing way too much on the other side, it's a recipe for disaster basically, so you want to make sure that you are giving yourself enough breathing room, enough rest. And I always recommend doing breathing exercises. When you are having an OCD attack, make sure you're not breathing through your mouth. You have to be breathing through your nose. Breathing through your mouth promotes stress. Your body views this as stress, such as when you're running, you're breathing through your mouth, right? Because you need more air, right? A lot of the time. So, you want to make sure you're breathing through your nose, controlled breathing, doing meditation, sleeping normal hours, because just sleeping is not enough. You have to make sure you're going to sleep at normal time as much as possible, because the natural body rhythms have to be, you have to respect the way the body is meant to work. If you're pushing against that, you're going to see it in terms of OCD, because serotonin develops at certain time of the day more so than at other times, and then gets depleted throughout the day. Cortisol goes up and down throughout certain times of the day naturally. So if you're messing with your sleep rhythms, you're also messing with that as well. So make sure you're going to bed at normal time, 9, 10, maybe 11 o'clock, not later than that. In terms of waking up, the waking up, I don't think it's as much of a problem as when you're going to sleep, because waking up, it's, we're going to work, all of these things, so most of the time you can't help that. But making sure you're not going to sleep with devices. So if you're having your smartphone when you're going to bed, all of that is not good, because it's affecting how your brain is perceiving light versus dark, and your brain is not resting as it should. So I mean, all of these are small things, but like, trust me when I say, I talk to clients every day. It does add up. And when people start making those changes, maybe one of those changes will make a huge difference, but together those changes make a big difference. Same as cutting out drinks that are stimulating, like coffee, tea, any kind of energy drink. All of those things will, again, drive the anxiety higher. Now, this is not to say that if you do everything I've just mentioned, you won't have OCD anymore. You'll still have to do the work. But it's like, you know how I say that you can go into battle with a sword or you can go into battle with a soft bat, right? It's not the same thing, you know. Your journey is going to be a lot harder. You can do it in both ways, but you're just going to have to fight a lot harder if you have the additional stuff that's weighing you down. Now, sometimes people can't help that, you know. If something is serious, that something serious is happening in your life and you have to deal with it in your real life, right? Then you have to deal with it, but not taking on more than you absolutely have to, you know, and putting your health first. Because honestly, you probably already know this, I don't need to tell you, but I'll say it anyway, that if your mental health starts falling apart, all of your work ability, all of your progress in other areas of your life will start falling apart as well, because you're not able to function to your fullest, or in some cases at all, right? So you want to make sure that you are putting your health as the top priority, you know. And as you start to do that, you will see that, oh, I actually do have more time to handle other things, or I handle other things better because I'm not worked up about OCD, you know. So that's just some of the things I wanted to mention. If you guys have any more questions, I do have a show every Wednesday, so you can ask questions below any of the videos you're watching, and I will answer them on the next Wednesday's show. If I don't get to it, then it'll be the following Wednesday, but usually I get to all the questions. um, if you need more information, you can visit youhaveocd.com. There's a private recovery program that's one-on-one with me. There are ebooks there. There's a lot of articles. There's a lot of information for OCD recovery, so please check that out. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.